Hello, 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 everybody. Greetings. I just need to get this party rolling. Let's see, where are you guys streaming in from? Let me know who's here. Where are you streaming in from? We are live for our weekly training, and I can't wait to share with you seven transformational steps, seven transformative steps you can take to end the year with courage. How to end the year with courage, not only with courage, but also with power. So, wherever you're streaming from, whether you're streaming in from Facebook or you're streaming in from YouTube, I just want to welcome you. I was thinking that literally we are smack almost in the middle of November, and I'm like, really? Today is the 10th of November, and tomorrow will be again such a phenomenal day. It will be 1 1 1 1 2022. And if I were you, I'll take a note of that and do something really special in honor of that day. So let's get the party moving. And if you're joining me from YouTube or from Facebook, say hello. Let me know where you're streaming in from, as is custom, so that I can give you a big shout out. And as I was thinking about what it takes to end the year with courage, I do a lot of thinking before I do these lives. And I was thinking to myself that we'll all finish. All of us, each one of us, by the grace of God, we will finish. But what does to finish strong? Because even in competitions, everybody finishes, right? Like people go and put in themselves and they finish. But what makes you a superb finisher? What makes you exceptional? What makes you stand out? What makes you one of those ones that people are like, I can see you, you've got this. Do you understand what I mean? Like, we are all going to finish the race, and I believe so. But what makes you a sterling finisher? What makes you a finisher that is, that you're at another level, you're at an elevated level, you're not like the masses, you're not like everybody else. So that's what I want to say. So here I can see you, Giles. Hello. Hi, Giles. I see you streaming from Bedford. Well, next door to me, not too far from me. Welcome, welcome. And Giles, where are you streaming from? I believe I know, but I want you to say it for yourself. Thank you so much for all that are joining me. So I want to say this: finishing strong is really the attitude that you walk in with. It's a posture. It's where you say to yourself that I'm doing this and I'm going to do it well. And what does this require? It requires two main elements, right? Courage, which for me is everything, and determination. So I want to see that courage and determination, C and D, is are critical elements towards finishing strong. Yeah, I always say the winner of any competition, the winner comes among those who finish. So, like when you go for the New York Marathon, we have marathons in Kenya, Standard Chartered Marathon. We have, the London Marathon, very, very popular one, different types of marathons. And ultimately, we are all running, right? Well, not me, I'm just saying those runners. But you'll have number one, number 56, number 182, number 366. But ultimately, we'll have a winner, and that's the winner that gets there before everybody else, amongst using those two main things, the C and the D that I said, courage and determination. And I was listening to a story on Sunday where a gentleman was saying when he did his first marathon, his wife was like, I don't think you can do it, blah blah blah. And he's like, I'm gonna do it, you watch me do it. It was the Houston Marathon. And he was sharing later how discouraged he was, like, the person that I thought would support me the most doesn't see it, but that gave him fuel to do it. And he told his colleagues and his friends that he's doing the thing, and they were so excited that, on the day of the marathon, they woke up to go and support him. They woke up, even his wife was there, by now she was like, this guy is serious, because he had been practicing really seriously. And when they got to the marathon, the guy is running, and it's 26.2 miles, right? at the 22nd mile, he started feeling lethargic. He couldn't push it. He couldn't finish. He was feeling like, my God, this is just too much. He had 3 miles to go and up 23.2 because it's 26.2 miles. And, as he was just pushing, he was just about to give up, and his colleagues and his wife, they all joined him, and step by step, literally every step he took, they took a step with him to the finishing line. And that's how he gave that testimony of how he finished. And for me, I want to say that's me with you here, step by step, right? Some of you are feeling, the excitement. There's also the magic of the holidays, the excitement of the holidays, but there's also the holiday slump, where you're just like, can 2023 come already? I'm done with the year. Let's just wait for next year. But I want to be the one to walk with you side by side, because we still have so much that we can put in, so much that we can do in the next um 50 days, actually. Yeah, it's 50 days to the last day of the year, today's mark. So how do we get you making the most of the days that are left? And I want you to do something that I always encourage my clients to do, and I encourage the people that I work with, is to do what I call an end of year review. So I want to see that in the chat. The first step to finishing your year strong, a transformative step that you can take to end your year with courage, is to have an end of year review. What is an end of year review? An end of year review is where you look at how has the year been, excuse me, how has the year been, right? What has been your biggest successes? What actions have you done that have moved the needle for you this year, that you can replicate in the coming year? And part of our end of year review, for me, I usually do it through a 3-day event as well, which I host, which is happening on the second and the third of this third, second, third, and 4th of December, our Purposeful Next Level Woman Conference. I'm very excited about that, and you'll get to hear about that next week. But next week, just so that I can emphasize this, next week we are having our Courage Over Comfort Challenge. I'd want the link for that in the chat, because we will not be doing this YouTube live here. Everything will be happening inside the challenge room. So if you've not signed up for the challenge, and you're wondering, where is Joanne on next Thursday? It's because Joanne will be teaching the people who have signed up for the challenge. So if you've not signed up for the challenge, we start day 1 on Wednesday next week. So it's a 5-day challenge. And that 5-day challenge, I'm going to teach you such stuff. It's exactly that, courage over comfort. I'm going to teach you how to build your confidence. I'm going to teach you what are the elements that really, the mechanics of courage, what determines courage even when times are looking really tough, right? What are the things that constitute your soul's calling? Because many of us, the reason we're not courageous, the reason we're not living out fully, is because we've not fully stepped into our soul's calling. And then also unlocking your courage, because it's already inside of you. But for most people, it's dormant, because you're so used to frustration, you're so used to struggling, you're so used to stress. I was talking to a lady this morning, and it was such a lovely conversation, and she's really doing well in her life right now. And she said to me, Joanne, I was so used to survival mode. I was just so used to always putting out fires in my life. She was talking about her life. And I said to her, I've been there. I've been in that place where I've gone through survival, where you're just looking like, God, just help me to get through today. Is that familiar? Has anybody ever felt like that, where you're literally just, your head is just above the water? You're trying to just barely keep your head above the water so that you can survive. Is that something familiar? Is that something you've gone through? Because if you've gone through, I know I'm not preaching to the choir, because I've been there, I've done it. I've been there, I've survived, and I'm here on the other end. And that's why an end of year review is one of the most courageous steps that you can take for yourself. It's a transformative step, and we do that, we'll do a bit of it in the Courage of a Comfort Challenge, but we do it very articulately in the 3-day event, right? Where we look at the 3 things. What do we need to align with? What do we need to connect with? What do we need to liberate? And then we also create our vision board, because the vision board is the thing that is going to direct us and lead us and encourage us into the next year. So the first 2 days, of the 3 day event, the December 2nd and 3rd, are teachings. I'm bringing some prolific speakers to come and talk to us about, things to do like mindset shifts, things to do with someone is talking to us about being wealth worthy. Someone is talking to us about healing from the past traumas. Another one is coming to talk to us about what it really means to be a resilient next level woman. Yours truly is coming to talk about what I love to talk about most, which is your vision and your purpose and why it's important to run with it. So, 3 action-packed days. And the third day is purely the vision casting experience. So, here we do your vision board. Here I teach you the step-by-step action plan for your coming year. And it's such a transformative experience, but you need to be in the room. You need to be fully present. You need to engage with it to get the most out of it. So, when you talk about an end of year review, I'm just going to give you some steps right now, because for me, I believe that you walk out of these weekly live events, and invite a friend if you haven't subscribe if you haven't. I want you to walk out with clear steps that you can do your end of year review, whether you choose to do it with me or not. But these are very helpful steps. So ask yourself, right? And this is to also help you purposely plan your next year, because for me, purposeful planning is very essential. So ask yourself this, and I'm going to give you a few minutes as you write down to meditate on them as we do. And I love that Esther gets it, that this is so familiar when your head is under the water, that sometimes you're just like, this is just too much, you're on survival mode. So let me take you through the steps. So ask yourself, what has gone well this year? What has gone well this year? Think about it. What has gone well this year? We all have something. And if you're brave enough, or you're operating from your courageous zone, which is where I want you to operate from, can you please put it in the chat right now? What has gone well for you this year? For me this year, I really am grateful that I've been healthy. I've not had any incidences. We've done a lot of stuff with the team. I really feel that there's been a lot of forward movement in my business and in my life. And I'm not going to go into the personal intricacies right now, but there are so many things which have gone really well. I've deepened relationships, with very important people to me, and created new ones. I've spoken at many events. In fact, next weekend, I'm speaking at an event called the Innovate Conference. Very excited about that. So it's really looking at it from a point of, what have I done? And being proud of yourself, right? So, what has gone well this year? And it's also, as you address what has gone well, it's also important that you look at what are some of the challenges that you've gone through. We've all had challenges, right? Is it a financial challenge? Is it a relational challenge? Is it a career challenge? Right? Is it a mindset challenge? Is it a courage challenge where you've lost your confidence, or you've lost your belief in yourself because of circumstances? I want you to be very clear with yourself. So, if you can be putting these questions in the chat, that would really help, Tim. What went well in the last year? What are some of the challenges that you have encountered? Because that way people will be able to flow with us. And then, what are some key lessons that you've learned this year? That's such a good one. We all walk out with lessons. What's a key lesson you've learned this year? For me, it's when you do the work, it works. It's as simple as that. And that you can do it no matter what. There are things I'm like, how did I do it? But when I think about it, it's because I have that conviction and I have that belief that I have everything it takes to do it. And then gotten the support and gotten the mentorship to help me do it to the end. So, what about you? What have you done? What are some of the key lessons you've learned this year? Right? Another lesson I've learned this year is about the importance of rest. Some of my clients and have encountered burnout. I've also been exhausted at some time, and I realize that I'm human at the end of the day, right? As is the rest of us. So, what about you? So, for Esther, some of the good things that have happened for her, what went well? Thank you, Esther, for putting this. This is really helpful. You've had good health, great connections with your family and friends. You've done great working on yourself internally and externally, and it shows. I know, Esther, so it shows, yeah? When you do the work, the proof is in the pudding. It's there for all and sundry to see. So thank you so much for that share. So what went well in the last year? What were some of the challenges that you went through? What are some key lessons that you have learned this year? I've shared some of mine. And what is one thing that you want to focus on in the year that's coming? So think about it for yourself. In the coming year, say to yourself, what's your focus for the year? And what I usually do, and we do this in the 3-day event, is we come up with the word for the year. Everybody walks out with a strategic word for the year. So what's your word? What word is coming up for you? It may not be clear or articulate right now, right? But for some people, your word for the year can be elevate. For someone else, the word for the coming year can be faith. Another word for the year can be surrender. Another word for the year can be transform. Another word for the year can be um, amplify. It's up to you. I've had so many words through the years. I remember a year where the word of the year for me was strength, because that's what I needed at that time, strength. So what about you? So for Esther, one of the key lessons that she's had is to trust the process. And let me tell you what, that's such a big thing that, no matter the circumstances that are happening around you, you're walking in trust. You're believing that you're exactly where you're meant to be, right? Trust the process. I know as I take every single step, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I'm walking with power and I'm walking with conviction because I have the full trust and belief that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. So those are affirmations that you can create from your word of the year. So for the year I chose the word strength. For me, I had to go back to biblical principles and say, what does the Bible say about strength? Who are the people who showed up with strength, and what does strength look like to me? Those are the questions you ask yourself. Those are the transformative steps you use, that you can take right now to end your year strong. And then ask yourself the fifth question, right? What does a purpose driven year look and feel like to you? Because the event for me, it's the purposeful next level woman. So if we're talking about being a purposeful next level woman, that's a 3-day event. What does then a purpose driven year look like for you? Think about that. And Esther, I love that you're doing the work. So Esther talked about the good things there. Her key lesson has been to trust the process. I absolutely agree with you there. And then her word for the year for 2023 is growth. And she has hit her tagline, quantum leaps in 2023. What are quantum leaps? They're not tiny little movements. Many of us, we're like, take one little step and then a little step and baby steps. No, a quantum leap is a magnanimous leap towards the thing. You move from 0 to 100 in seconds, right? Moving with speed, moving with power. Yeah, moving in a way that is not normal. It's super accelerated. That is what a quantum leap is. So thank you so much. But heavy rains, bad connections. Okay, fine. So and that's part of life, right? You're busy trying to do your work, busy trying to do your best, and interruptions happen. So thank you for letting us know that you're having that challenge. So that said, what does a purpose driven year look and feel like to you, Esther? What does it look like to you, John? What does it look like to you, Jennifer, Joanne, whoever else is watching right now, right? What are the things? So for me, I sit down and analyze every area of my life. And that's what we do in the 3-day event, in the Purposeful Next Level Woman event. We look at your mindset. We look at you as a parent, if you're a parent. And even if you're not a parent, you're still a parent because you're parenting yourself and you're parenting other people, right? We look at your finances. We look at your health. Yeah, one of the focuses this year, I've talked to the speaker on health, is our mental health, because many of us do not know we are struggling. We do not recognize we're struggling because we are so used to survival. We are so used to numbing our pain. We are so used to just getting on with it, even when, you know, things are just like going haywire. But we've been trained and we've trained ourselves that way, that no matter what, I'm just going to push through, push through, push through. But you don't know what impact that is having on your mental health. And then one day you crash. Why? Because you don't have the tools, you don't have the support, you don't have the knowledge to help you during that. So for me, I do a lot of exercises even in my office. I have quotes around stress. I do mindfulness puzzles, they are here, to help me distress. That's a mindfulness puzzle. I sit here in my office and I find balance, ways of balancing my life so that even in the midst of stress, right, I'm still able to keep, to do it, but not from a way of numbing. I still process, get the support and the help that you need for that. So the first step is do your end of year review. And then the second step for you, step to end your year with courage is to really set purpose driven goals. And that's what we really, I really emphasize in December, because that's the best time to start thinking about those things before you go on holiday, before the parties start, before you finish your Christmas money. Set the goals for the year in December. That's why we lay the foundations in that 3-day event, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of December. Very powerful, very poignant 3 days, because we are set. By the time you go to the holidays, your plan is ready, your vision board is ready, you know what you're doing. You're not running all over the place like a headless chicken. Your strategy is clear and it's defined, and you know what it is that you want. You know, um, there's a lady who says, her name is Lara Casey. She says that don't focus on doing it all. Focus on doing what matters. Can I see that in the chart? Don't focus on doing it all. Focus on doing what matters. And one of the things that my team and I were talking about today is, how do you simplify your life? Simplifying your life, because how the world is right now, everything in this digital age is just meant to make life complex. The more we have, the more we are acquiring, the more complicated our lives are getting. And it's a culture of get, consume, 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 and it can be so toxic and so frustrating, right? And for me, I really resonate with this. Don't focus on having it all, on doing it all, but focus on what truly matters. So for me, what truly matters are memories. What truly matters for me is relationships. What really matters for me is impact. What matters for me is influence. What matters for me is value. What matters for me is touching one life, one life at a time, right? That for me is so important. It's what drives me every single day. It's what wakes me up. What about you? Be honest with yourself. What truly matters for you? Because the moment you focus on doing it all, and rather than focusing on what truly matters, is where the burnout comes. That's where the overwhelm comes. That's where the numbness comes. That's where the busyness comes. And busyness is one of the biggest distractions to destiny. Can someone put that in the chat? Busyness distracts us from our destiny, because you're so busy fanning fires, trying to to put out other people's fires and trying to get some level of sanity in your life, that life just passes you by without you recognizing. So when you set goals from a place of lack, LACK, when you set goals from a place of scarcity, right? That you will not find success in that, because that energy translates in everything that you do, because it comes out. Energy, I always say energy is everything. Energy can be felt, right? Energy can be seen. So for you to be able to set successful goals, you need to set them up from an abundant space. And that's why we create for you that abundant space in those 3 days, where you're coming in, all of you, with the same objective, that I'm walking out of these 3 days, with these deliverables. And we make the deliverables, and we set the intentions. We make everything so succinctly clear that you know what it is that you're doing, right? And doing it with other people, for me, is just the cherry on the cake. It's a cherry on the cake. I love group activities. I love being in the midst of people who think like me, who are positive, not negative Nellies, not Debbie Downers. You're dealing with people who are optimistic, right? and they're happy about the future no matter what things are looking like. I did a Instagram live and yesterday I shared there's a difference between the facts and there's a difference between the truth. The fact is, yes, we're going through a global recession, we're going through tough times collectively. We've gone through the pandemic, COVID-19. We are seeing here bank interest rates are just shooting up. Last week, the base rates lending, the base lending rate shot up last week, and people are scared they're going to lose their houses. There's so much fear going on. Those are facts. But what is the truth? The truth is that God, who created you, He's your provider. He's the owner of a cattle on 1,000 hills, that He said He's going to provide bread to the sower, seed to the sower, and bread to the, I forget the exact words, but you're provided for. It's, you know that the truth is that all your needs have been catered for and will be catered for, and that you will never operate from a state of lack. And when you're able to distinguish, and that he who created you is the owner of a cattle on 1,000 hills. And another truth is you've been given the ability to create wealth. That's a truth. So do you choose to the facts are there. We don't dispute the facts, they're facts. But what about clinging to the truth? Because the truth is what will set you free. The truth is what is going to propel you forward, even in very extenuating circumstances. For me, I choose to lean on the truth because the truth is my banner. The truth is my rock. The truth is what helps me come out on the other side victorious. We go deep into that kind of stuff. So I want you to understand that instead of focusing on doing all the things, as I said, so that you can be successful, right? Focus on setting goals that really align with the direction that you want to go and with God's purpose for your life. So for here, like when you look at Esther's intention for next year, I want to see the goals, Esther, that you're going to create. She says it's about growth and quantum leaps. So I want you to ask yourself, what does growth look like for you? How do you see growth, whether in your business, in your relationships? How do you see growth as a parent? How do you see, write all those things. What does a quantum look like for you? And then start thinking of visuals for this. Because this will really become very helpful when we're doing the vision board, because we'll be very strategic in how we create those vision boards. It's not just cutting out um, images and just dumping them on cardboard. It doesn't work that way. We're very intentional with everything we do. Start looking for affirmations that you want to create around the word growth, around quantum leaps. Look for incidences in the Bible, or whatever scriptures, for other people, because not everybody's a Christian. Look for things that support you. So for me, it's the Bible. And for if I was mine was my scriptural, if my one was growth or quantum leaps in 2023, I can give you an example, Esther. I would go to Amos 9:13. I believe that's the one, and I'm gonna give it to you. That's the one I would run with as the verse for quantum leaps, because that's what I've used it previously. And I'm gonna read it for you. I got it right. And it says this: yes, indeed, it won't be long now, God's decree. Things are going to happen so fast, your head will swim. That's a quantum leap. That's acceleration, that's growth. So listen to this. Things are going to happen so fast, your head will swim. One thing fast on the heels of the other. You won't be able to keep up. Everything will be happening at once, and everywhere you look, blessings. Blessings like wine pouring off the mountains and hills. I will make everything right again for my people. And it goes on and on. And that, for me, if this was my word, and I'm coaching us because she's put the information, would be my anchor. This would be my anchor verse for the year. Every single day, I'd come here. Everything is happening all at once. Everywhere I look, blessings. Blessings pouring like wine. It's here. I didn't make it up. There it is. There's nothing that we don't have an answer to. We just need to look for it. We just need to be open for it. We just need to be coachable to receive it. So, Esther, let me know if you received that, if you're still here, because I believe that would really be helpful for you. Yeah? You're welcome. So, that can be your leading scripture for the quantum leap. I did it. That's when, when I was doing, when Quantum Leap was one of my has been my principle in a program I'm in a couple of times. That's a verse I use all the time. Why wouldn't you can consider it? But of course, you do what you want, but you can consider it as your leading scripture, because I know you love scripture, so that would be your leading scripture for next year. So that's an example. I'm not imposing it on her. I'm just giving an example. Then the third thing is, now that you have the goals and you have the word and you know what it is that you're shooting for, right? We're talking about the purpose driven goals, goals that will help you fashion a life that is aligned with God's plan for you, not your own plan for yourself. Because, I say we make plans, but God laughs. That has happened to me so many times. Write that in the chat. We make plans, but God laughs, because sometimes we make plans from our flesh. And God is looking at you and He's like, I wish you knew my child, right? So align your plans with His will, and that will really change your life. The third one is creating an action plan for your goals. So when you set an action plan for your goal, what does this mean? Many people set goals, many people create vision boards, right? But you don't have an action plan. So there you are, you go plonking things all over the place on a cardboard, right? My vision board is ready. I'm not gonna show you, it's not the created one, the blank. I have my vision board ready. And I've been sitting and thinking to myself, what do I want to see in it? I'm not going to think on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of December. I start thinking now. And that's how I want you to start thinking, whether you're going to join us or not, right? Start thinking about yourself. Setting goals is great. We all do that. But you achieve them when you take action. Goals are achieved when you take action. And action means you literally doing something to get the thing that you want. And there's a guy who says a dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievement. That's a guy called Bo Bennett, right? I want to reiterate this, and I'm going to reiterate this again with firmness and with conviction. In order to make a goal happen, it's not going to make itself happen. You must take action, and that's where most people lose the vision. Why? Because you decide that you're going to plonk all these things on a vision board, and you don't have a strategy to do it. And year in, year out, your visions are not coming to pass. Why? Because, and it says even in the book of Habakkuk, the herald must run with it. What is the herald running with? The herald is taking action. The herald is taking the steps. The herald is moving. This is serious stuff. That's why whenever I work with a coaching client, the first thing that we do is we set goals. And as we set goals, we set the action plan. Because I'm like, you're here. This is the thing that you want. How do I help you as a coach move from here to your final destination? And that's why I always say, get the right support, get the right help. Otherwise, you'll keep going around the same mountain year in, year out. Like the Israelites, the story. What would have been a journey of 11 days took them 40 years. And all they did was whine and complain, whine and complain. Are you like them? Are you whining and complaining and not taking any responsibility for your life? Are you whining and complaining and not taking any action? Are you whining and complaining and blaming everybody else but yourself? Really think about it, because it's so easy to find a reason why your things are not working. Oh, the economy. Oh, my boss did this to me. Oh, my spouse is not cooperating with me. Oh, my children, they're all over the place. Oh, I'm co-parenting with someone who is not helping me. It's so easy. Oh, my parents, they messed me up when I was a child, so I don't know what to do. You can blame and blame to the day you get to the grave, but there has to be a point where you take personal charge and personal responsibility, and you say to yourself that something has to change, something's gonna give, and that the thing that brought me where I am today is not what will take me there. The behaviors and the actions that have brought me to where I am right now are not going to take me to the promised land. So it's, as I said, it's not enough to set the goals, you must do something about it. And as we do the vision casting experience with my ladies, those who will be joining me on December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we will actually do the actual plan for each goal that you set. Then the fourth thing is you need to start tying up any loose ends. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all have those things that are lingering and that are hanging. I have so many. In fact, Esther, you, HFN and Edith are one of my loose ends, right? Like, I'm like, I need to send them the information. I need to send them this, right? We all have them, right? Nobody's exempt from it. You have loose ends, and loose ends could be sometimes conversations that you need to have. Loose ends are emails that need to be replied to. Loose ends could be, forgiveness that you need to let go of. Loose ends could be you decluttering your closet, you decluttering your bedroom. Do you understand what I mean? Loose ends could be you clearing your credit card, because you said this year you're gonna not gonna walk into the new year with those credit card balances, and you're like, I have the money, and you just keep saying, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Just do it, do it, right? Think about it. You don't have to wait until 1st January to tie those loose ends. In fact, you free yourself for a beautiful start when you start tying those loose ends now. And for me, I found that the more I tie the loose ends at this time of the year, the more peace and the momentum I get at the beginning of the year. And that's why I really love this finishing strong, right? 50 days left and we're done with 2022. 50 days is a lot of time, a lot, but you need to be committed, you need to be ready, you need to be determined, you need to be courageous, right? The fifth one, right? I haven't seen the fourth one. Fourth one is tying up loose ends. That's nice. You've taken it up. It will be your leading scripture. It's such a good one. And I really like the message version, right? So we talked about creating an action plan. So I want to see the fourth one, which is tying up the loose ends. And then number five is you continue making progress. This is how it's a transformative step on the ones that you already have. You can't start setting new goals if the ones you have are still hanging. Do you understand what I mean? So many of us will just shove the things to the back or whatever, right? The holidays are not an excuse. The holidays are not an excuse to stop making progress towards your goals. One of the things I've come to realize is that we love the magic. Oh, is it there? Are you there? Can you let me know I'm still here? I think we've been disconnected. I don't understand. All right. Please let me know that we're here. Yeah, keep making progress on your current goals. This is so important. And where I'm saying keeping making progress means that there's nothing. Let me tell you what. We love the new year. 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The countdown. But I want to say this: January 1st will happen either way, whether you do what it is that you said you're going to do or not. I want to say this. Yes, you can see me. Can you hear me? Those are two different things. I want to see, can you see me and can you hear me? Right? Esther says there's no sound on her end. I don't know where that's happening from because my side seems perfectly fine. So I need to hear both. Can you see me? Can you hear me? That's what yes, you can hear me. Good. So Esther, please check your connection, right? That's how you guys know this is live. It's not recorded because we are interacting. Right. So this coming this today's 10th of November. Between 10th of November, when I'm doing this, Giles can hear me excellent. So that means Esther probably had a problem with her connection. She needs to come back. So what are some action steps that you can take in this month to make sure that you're making the most of the time that we have? Because many of us really joke with God. You know what I mean? Like we take it like it's a right. We work with entitlement about the time that we have. But let me tell you, time is a gift that we've been given. So these remaining days, what are you going to do with them? Yeah. Well, you don't have to fill your schedule to the brim because obviously you still want to have moments of enjoyment and to do other things. Still work diligently on your goals. Still work diligently on them, right? Don't let the magic of the season, the excitement of the season, trick you out of making progress. Think about it. Christmas Day is one day, Boxing Day is one day, Fast Off is one day. Those are just 3 days. But people just make everything stop because of this. Granted, you have family parties, you have celebrations, you have travel happening, but keep your eyes still on the game, because the moment you start releasing these things, the more you bring to yourself stress in the new year, right? I understand the holidays are a great time to rest, relax, and enjoy time with your family, but it's also a perfect time to plan well and finish the year strong. So you can get the best of both, if you understand what I mean. All you need to do is to be intentional. So I want to hear that in the chat. I am intentional on how I finish. Be intentional and make sure that you're ending the year on a great note and a purposeful note by still sticking to the agenda and sticking to what you said you're going to do. And the last one, right? After us making meaningful goals, now I have two more, is number 6 is limit your distractions. So I want to see that. Limit your distractions. What does limiting your distractions mean? We all get distractions, right? Between parties, meetings, travel, end of year activities, right? It's so easy to keep it's so easy for you to be so caught up in these activities that your mind is all over the place. You're distracted. You're buying gifts, and you remember you didn't buy your gifts for your Auntie Mary. You go and buy a gift for Auntie Mary, and there are all these other offers happening, and you're just jumping from one thing to the other. As you're buying the gifts for Auntie Mary, you remember you haven't got to put up your Christmas tree. You go and get the Christmas tree. As you're getting the Christmas tree, you're getting an invite for your children's sleepover by their friends. The kids are coming for Christmas sleepover. And as you're taking the kids for the sleepover, you're getting a message from your other friend, come and meet me. We're having a party in my house. And a lot is happening. I get it, right? And all the reminders are happening on the internet. Gets busy. Coach Joanne is telling you, come and attend the Purposeful Next Level Woman 3-day event. On the other side of the internet is Mr. Peter and Mr. John. They're inviting you to do whatever goal planning with them. On the other side of the corner, there's someone saying, come and let me help you do your financial planning for the new year. And the internet is going to get very noisy. A lot of people will be coming up with activities for the holidays, but I want you to be focused, right? If you're not careful, you can be literally physically present in the things that are happening, but you're mentally absent. So be aware of that. Are you physically present? You're there, your body is there, but you're not mentally there. You're mentally absent, right? So I want you to be very aware of that, because sometimes our bodies are there and our minds are not, and then you start playing catch up and it's late. And by the time you're playing catch up, it's March 2023, and you're like, what just happened? Where was that disconnect? And I've seen it over and over and over again, where people blink after the holidays. It's March, it's April, and then it's Easter. And then the next thing, it's we're getting into summer, we're getting into the mark year. It happens like that, just like that. So be very aware, right? That it's very easy for you to be physically present in stuff, but your mind is all over the place. It's absent, and you lose out on the joy of the season. So if you're going to end well, and I'm saying this with such seriousness, if you're going to end the year well, then limiting your distractions is imperative. Choose who you're going to follow and what you're going to follow. You can't be all over the place, right? Distractions will come, but ask yourself, as I said, we said at the beginning, what are you going to focus on? Don't focus on doing it all, focus on doing what truly matters. So distinguish and determine for yourself what that is, what truly matters. Welcome back, Esther. I'm glad you're back. Right? So that's the sixth one. So remember, you need to be still even in the holidays, because busyness is one of those things that can be very distracting. And I'll give you the final one and one or two bonus ones, right? Is that you need to really get a hold on your mental space. So get a hold on your mental space. What does this mean? You need to get rid of, declutter anything mentally that is not serving you. What is a mental declutter? I'm actually going to even Google it for you so that you guys can get what a mental declutter is. Sometimes you just need to shed and shed and shed. And I'm not talking physical stuff, yes, but what about mental stuff? So let's get you what a mental declutter is properly. So that by the time, right, for me, mental declutter. So, mental clutter, get this. Mental clutter refers to times when our mind has too many thoughts, which makes it difficult to process and focus. A cluttered mind is disrupting and it hinders our productivity, balance, and even our mental health, right? So, what are some examples of mental clutter? I'm going to give you five of them, as part of my last point. Regret. Regret is part of mental clutter. I don't think there's a person walking on this earth, right, who doesn't have anything that they don't regret. So part of getting a hold on your mental space is looking at what is this mental clutter and how is it negatively affecting me and how is it stopping me from courageously finishing strong. So regret is one of them. What is it that you're regretting? Listen, if you can't turn back the clock, but you can determine how you're going to move forward. So don't let it hold you back, right? Mental declutter. So another thing that is part of mental clutter, so write that for me in the chat, regret. The second one is guilt and shame. Where are you feeling guilt? Where are you feeling shame? Right? Maybe you're looking at your life and you're like, I should have been so much farther ahead. A lot of people feel guilty and they feel shame around that. You feel shame around your current life situation. Many people operate under that. So, regret. The second one is guilt and shame. I'm giving you five of them. The third one is fear. And that's why we're doing the Courage Over Comfort challenge. If you've not signed up for it, we're going to tackle fear head on. We're going to look fear in the eye and say, you, I see you, right? So that's happening next week from the 16th to the 20th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, 5 days of excellence and mastery in dealing with fear. And the challenge is courage over comfort. So we're gonna, if you haven't signed up for it, please do, right? And we'll put the link for you for the Courage Over Comfort challenge happening next week. So we're not gonna meet on Zoom. We're not gonna meet on uh, this one on YouTube and Facebook. Direct. You're gonna meet me in the challenge next week. So everything that's happening next week is all challenge driven. So if you've not registered for the challenge, please do, because that's the only way you'll be able to get access to the content of next week. So I just want to be very, very clear and articulate with that. So we're going to deal with fear next week. So regret, guilt and shame, fear. Another mental decluttering thing that you need to take care of is worry, right? There's a song that says, why worry when you can pray, right? But even some people are such warriors that they they worry. You worry and you're still praying. Choose. Are you going to worry? Are you going to pray? Choose. So why worry when you can pray? Submit your worries, submit your concerns to God. Worry can be detrimental. Worry is, that state where you're thinking about the future. You're not even present. Worry is very toxic, right? One of the things that I say about worry is that worry is such a disturbing thing, because ultimately, whatever is going to happen will happen, and whether you worry about it, right? There's a guy there's a quote I read somewhere which says that, like, worrying is like walking with an umbrella waiting for it to rain. Isn't that it? That's what worry is. Worrying is like walking around with an umbrella waiting for it to rain. Meanwhile, the sun is out. there's no sign of any rain, but there you are with your umbrella waiting for it to rain. So be very careful about worry. Worry is can be very detrimental to our mental well-being, right? And it's a waste of time, because good things and bad things will happen in life. But why are you putting yourself in that situation when you don't have to, right? uh there's also another worry one. Do you guys know the one where it says worry is like something like sitting on a rocking chair, right? Worry is like being in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. So you're in a rocking chair, you're rocking like this, you're moving. There's the movement, but it's not getting you anywhere, right? It's being in a rocking chair. So do you want that for yourself? I don't want you to concentrate on worry. Worry is detrimental, worry is not helpful, right? And the fifth one is negative self talk. So negative self talk is one of the type of mental clutter that is gonna negatively affect you in this season if you don't take care of it. So how are you talking to yourself? I was listening to something the other day where Pastor Joel Austin said it so well. He said something. He said, "Zip it. If you do not want it in your life, zip it. Don't talk about it. Zip it." Right. So be very careful. How you could be the one potentially cursing yourself. You could potentially be the one eliminating your own problems and causing them to become a self-fulfilling prophecy by your own talk. You're casting yourself through your words. The word, your tongue has power over life and death, and you know that. So be very careful about the words of your mouth, because they could be the ones that are hindering you from making progress in life, right? So how do you get rid of this mental clutter? Right? There are many ways, but obviously, first you have to recognize that you have that mental clutter, and we've given you what they are. We go deep into these things in the challenge and in the event, but really learning to prioritize, stopping to multitask, right? Decluttering your schedule, having a morning and evening routine that works for you, and also getting the help, right? Getting the support. Sometimes, you just need to have somebody that you can offload to, that you can tell, help me process this and the other. I had an opportunity where I was able to help somebody really process some stuff that's happening in her life. And as I was helping her process her emotional clutter, the mental clutter, it was also helping me work on mine. Because as she talked, I'm like, yeah, actually, that can also help me. That also makes sense in my life. So I want you to really understand that many of us yes, we have the physical clutter, but I also want you to think, what's the mental, what's the emotional clutter that you need to take care of, so that you can be able to finish the year strong and finish with courage. So those are my 7 steps, right? What do I want to say in finality? Everything that has shared with you today here is doable. Everything that I've shared with you here is stuff that you can apply in the here and now. And I want to say this, that even if just by listening to this video, you invite a friend to listen to it, and really taking what I'm sharing with you seriously, because, many times, people are listening to this thing, but you're doing other things. You're washing your baby, you're washing your car, you're walking your dog, you're listening to the news, you're multitasking. But the best gift you can give yourself is the gift of focusing on yourself, and determining for you, that is this content that is helping me, is this content that is moving the needle forward for me. When she said I start thinking of the word for 2023, is that going to help me? Absolutely, right? So when she tells me to set purpose driven goals, is that helpful to me? When I say don't focus on doing it all, focus on what truly matters. Is that helping you? If it is, yes, go on and do it, right? And then asking yourself, how do I limit the distractions? One of the ways you can limit the distractions is even by being fully present here. You're busy shouting and barking at your child right now. Stop doing this, stop the multitasking. And I understand that, yes, people have different lifestyles and different types of home experiences. But I want you to really, even if you didn't get to watch this live from the beginning, take time to watch it properly. Take time to really think about these things, because if you put them into your life and apply them, they're going to help you. And then go back to the mental decluttering. Okay, she said, get a hold on your mental space. Where am I? Do I have regret? Where do I have guilt and shame? Where do I have worry? Where do I have negative self talk? I'm going to ask you one last one. It's not listed, but where do you have pride? Where are you so prideful that you can't even see the wood from the trees because you're so caught up in your pride? Where has your ego it stopped you from doing stuff because you're just like, oh, I already know that. Oh, I can't do that. I already know it. So we're going to explore this stuff a lot next week in the challenge. It's a free challenge. I'm not charging you anything for it. And if by now you know me, I'm not a fluffy person. I'm not a hot air person. When I come, I teach, I give significant value because I want to receive value. So I give what I want to receive. When I go to someone's live stream, when I go to someone's YouTube, I'm going there because I want to get something meaty. I want to get the meat and potatoes from what they're teaching. I don't just want some fluffy stuff. I don't want to waste my time. So I also don't want to waste your time. So I want to make sure that everything that we are teaching you here is pushing the needle forward for you, is pushing the needle, and that you can be able to implement these things here and now. So I want, before we go, just to get a quick check-in. What have been your biggest takeaways from this session? And I'm just going to give it a minute or two as you type them out, and then we're out of here. So can I hear from you? What has been your biggest takeaway from this session? For me, as I wait for you guys to type, is really about planning my year in advance, like not being like a deer caught like a deer in headlights, like this. Oh, 2023 is here. No, preparing for it in advance and really starting to pray now. God, what is the word for the year that you want me to run with in 2023? What's the word for the year? I don't know mine yet. What's yours? What's the word for the year that you're already thinking? Esther has already found hers. Esther has already determined what hers is. So if you're like anything like Esther, hers is growth, quantum leaps. I've even given her the verse that she's going to run with for the year because it's relevant to what she shared. So Esther's Esther, so it's been so long. Nice to see another Esther. Yeah, Esther, welcome. Esther's biggest takeaway has been about the mental declutter. So she's learned about the regret, the guilt and the shame, the fear, the worry, the negative self talk. Congratulations, Esther, on that takeaway. It's big because once you start processing these things, you're able to remove them as that, let the scales fall off your eyes. So you're able to process things with much more clarity and much more wisdom. Anybody else who wants to give? Oh, Esther, Esther, was yours negative? The other Esther, was it negative self-talk that was your takeaway, or is that something else? I'm just waiting for 1 or 2 minutes as you guys type yours. So I've shared mine. Another big takeaway for me is how much progress really I've made this year. Just being consistent with my content, and for me, I keep telling people it's not about the numbers. Whether one person shows up, that's a one person that I was meant to impact. For me, I don't have that vanity matrix. I'm not like, oh, I'm not gonna do a live if two people are on it. If two people are on it, those are the two people who are meant to hear the message, and I'll show up for them, because those two people will share the message with somebody else, and the ripple effect will still continue. So for me, I released pride a long time ago. The people will tell me, oh, I can't even do a live stream if I see two people. I'm like, huh? You can't. Me, even if it's one, even if I'm by myself, I'll still teach. Why? Because a lot of people also watch the replay, but also that video a year from now can pop up for somebody and completely change their life. So I really want you to think, where are you proud when making decisions or doing things. For me, I know every time I open my voice, I allow God to use me, and that I may think that this is for this person or this audience, but it lands with somebody totally different. I had a call with a guy the other time, and he's like, I listened to all your YouTube things, and he booked a call, and I'm like, I don't serve guys. He's like, no, 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 I'm not booking a call for you to work with me. I've booked the call so that I can share with you how much you've helped me. And that really made me so emotional, because I'm like, you don't know who you're touching. So please get rid of your pride, get rid of your ego, do what you've been called to do. It's not about who is watching or who's not watching or who is saying what. For me, that's a least of my worries. That what matters for me is, this is the time that God has put me here to do, and I'm going to focus on what truly matters. I'm going to create purpose-driven goals, and I'm going to push through to my soul's calling, because what has been put in me is not just for me, and I'm not going to hoard my gifts. I'm going to share it with all and sundry. So that's I've said a lot, but yeah, you guys get the gist of it. For Esther, yes, your biggest takeaway is the scripture you shared, Amos 9:13-15. I'm going to read it again for those who perhaps did not get it. It's a quantum leap. It's probably one of the verses that I've used over and over in my life. And I use the message version, which says, yes, indeed, it won't be long now, God's decree. And a decree is it's set in stone. It's a seal. He cannot go against it. It's a decree. It won't be long now. So can I see that in the chat as we finish? It won't be long now. Things are going to happen so fast. Your head will swim. One thing fast on the heels of the other. You won't be able to keep up. Everything will be happening at once, and everywhere you look, blessings. Blessings like wine pouring off the mountains and hills. I will make everything right again for my people Israel. They will rebuild their ruined cities. They will plant vineyards and drink good wine. They will work their gardens and eat fresh vegetables, and I will plant them on their own land. That means you will be settled, you will be established. Oh my God, how powerful is that? They will never again be uprooted from the land I've given them. God, your God says so. Remember what I said about truth and what I said about facts? This is the truth. The other one was fact. This is the truth. This is the truth. You will not be uprooted from what is yours. It won't be long now. You got it right. Team Joanne, Jennifer is creating an action plan for her goals. And you know what, Jennifer, you and I had a bit of a chat about that this morning, didn't we? Where we talked about a certain goal you're working on. And I'm like, how are you with it? A personal goal of hers. We get to really share personal stuff. And I'm like, how is this going? And we got to have a breakdown of what that looks like. So well done, you. Esther, yeah, and goals are achieved when you take they can't you guys in my 100-day sprint know I share with you a lot of my personal stuff. Things are not going to move on their own. There are also things where I also take a lot of presumptions that it's just going to happen. Oh, that's fairy thinking. That's wishful thinking. That's wishing upon a star, and we don't do that. We take action. We deliberate. We do what we need to do. That's the different thing. And then focusing on what truly matters. That's simple living. Don't complicate your life. Life is already complicated. My life is very complicated, right? In so many angles, right? And not in a bad way. And if I was to concentrate on every area of my life together, I would go crazy, to be honest. So I've learned to focus on what truly matters, because I'm one person. I have all these conflicting interests, hobbies, people in my life. I have my family, I have my clients, I have different programs running. I have all these WhatsApp groups I'm supporting. I have so many things. We have the challenge coming next week. I have a team, and I'm the one person, right? I have, obligations in my church. I'm part of a leadership, some leadership work as well. The one person. So you really have to ask yourself what truly matters, because you don't want to get burnt out. You don't want to get exhausted. You don't want to get finished because you're spreading yourself too thin. Yes, it won't be long now. So let's leave it at that. I am so pleased. I have a meeting in a few minutes, but I just want to say that you decide. You decide the direction you want your life to be. You decide what you want to see. You decide what you're going to call forth. Because when you decree a word, it shall be established. That's what I'm finishing off with. That I, Joanne Muturi, when I decree a word, it shall be established. And these are not words that I'm bringing from, I never, these are not my words. These are words that come from the true source, right? You know, this is, what is it called? Job 22, 28, I think. I'm right. Yep. Job 22:28. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon your ways. So, what does this mean? You will succeed in whatever it is that you choose to do, and light will shine on you, but you have to decree it, you have to speak it forth, and it will be established for you. And remember, when we did the Amos one, it talked about being up, that you'll not be uprooted from what is yours. So you'll be settled, you'll be established. But for it to be established, you have to take the steps that are aligned with the thing that you want to see, right? So one of the steps you can take, I'm encouraging you, is to do the free courage over comfort challenge. And for some of you, another thing would be sign up for the 3-day event, right? We're going to be giving details. We've not released the details officially for that, but it's on December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, right? Also, people are like, give me the link. I'm like, relax, it's coming, right? 3 days of serious activity for as a Purposeful Next Level Woman Conference. Yes, Jerry, welcome. I don't know if you've just come in, but if you've just come in, watch from the beginning, because it's just been such an amazing session. So yeah, you decree a word and it shall be established. And have that conviction, have that belief, have that trust, have that faith that God is for you. And if He's for you, He's going to make the things that are for you come to life. For me, I always say that anything that is attached to me, anything that is attached to my destiny, as long as it's in alignment with what God has for me, it has no choice but to happen. That's how I operate every single day. It has no choice but to happen. But if it's not what He has for me, I'll be like, you know what, Lord, I accept it. Your will above mine. And when you walk like that, you walk in perfect peace, because you know that nothing that is yours will pass you by. And that God loves you either way. It's not about performance. It's not about, you doing something so that you can receive, because He's so kind and so compassionate and so gentle to you, and He wants the best for you. So when you walk like that, and you act like that, and you believe like that, it becomes fully manifested in your life. You know, as in let's leave that one. But there's a conversation somewhere where someone was like, is the word manifested like not but what other word is there when something is fully bathed? It manifests. It's not a new age word. It's biblical, that when you call it, it's established, it's manifested, it's brought forth, right? We're gonna go into those philosophical debates, but yeah. So let's wind it up here by saying that no one here is perfect. No one here has all their, the one that's going in the right direction, right? Sometimes there are things that are not working, and there are things that need to be tweaked. There are things which need to be adjusted. There are things that need to be looked at from another angle. As I always say, what brought you here is not what will take you there, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. And that's where you really need to look at your self awareness. This is where you look at your self concept. How do you perceive yourself? What are the beliefs that you walk with? What are your routines? What are your rituals? What are your guiding principles? What are the tenets that guide you on a day-to-day basis? Those are the things we'll explore next week in the challenge. I'm over and out. See you all 1 minute to my meeting. So I gotta go now. Take care, guys. Share this live stream, not with one person, not with two, not with three, with five. If you so feel compelled to, that would be lovely, because you never know who needs to hear this word. Sometimes we come, we receive. Ask yourself, who else may want to hear this? And expose it to them, because you never know. You just by that one action, you could be completely shifting something for somebody. So see you, everybody. Take care and God bless you. So next week, no YouTube. Everything is happening in the challenge. So if you're not registered for the challenge, you'll meet me the other week, right? Take care and see you soon. Remember, 50 days to go to the new year. Make the most of them. Ciao. Mwah. Bye, everyone.